I'm just going to stare at the screen until someone shows up. And if no one does in the next 2 minutes, then I'll just delete this embarrassing monologue. I look like I've got a halo above me. I'm sitting in my son's bedroom for a change of scene. Hopefully you like the background. Oh, one person's turned up. Amazing. I have company. And I'm waiting for my son to turn up any second now. They've kicked me out of his room. Or to be fed, although he can help himself. So for the one person in the room, it's all on you. Can you let me know if the volume's working? Oh, two people in the room. Wow. Yeah, just put something in the chat. Let me know that you can hear me. No, can't hear me? I'm going to get this dog because I can see it at the bottom of the screen. And if only to break up the tedium of me talking, I'll share the dog. Hello, you can hear me. Fantastic. How are you? Ricketic65. 4 people in the room. I should do more of these spontaneous live streams. Scheduling live streams has become a faff for me anyway. Sometimes just take the spontaneous route, just switch on the computer and put off the YouTube script that you've been spending way too long writing. So yeah, I'm writing a script for my next scripted video, which is about reactions to my autism diagnosis. But I just ADHD, man. I just keep getting easily distracted. So yeah, this live stream is just another attempt to put off what I set myself as a task. So yeah, brain, two directions, tug of war, autism versus ADHD. How are you? Can be a difficult question. Oh, hi, Jenny. Great to see you. What time? You're 5 hours behind me. So 10 o'clock, half 10. Um, yeah, how are you? Someone asked me how I am after park run. So in the UK, we have, well, across the world, there's park run. So you turn up on a Saturday morning, run around the field, and it's totally free and it's really welcoming. And I just finished park run, so a lot of adrenaline and sweat. Ugh. And someone said, "How are you? How have you been?" Because I've been missing park run for a long time, and I just blurted out, uh, clinical depression, work-related stress, alcohol. I didn't need to know that. They just asked me, "How are you?" And I said, "Bleh." And they were like, "Okay." And then I immediately said, when I saw their reaction, um, "Well, I'm autistic. I just say it as it is," which just made them recoil even further. Like, "What?" No, they didn't do that. They were pretty nice about it. In fact, they said, "It's good to see you back." And I said, "Thank you. Thank you so much." See, I do like people. I'm not this antisocial loner all the time. What's I got in my hand? Sorry, dog. Sorry, I picked up the dog. A bit like this video, spontaneously picked up the dog. I spontaneously started the live stream. Started. I was a bit South England, London. Started. Um, it's 1637. Are you in mainland Europe by any chance? Ricket 65. Just guessing. And if you are you allowed to tell me which country you're in? Because Netherlands, cool. Not very far, really, from where I am in Middle England, where Lord of the Rings was written, or which inspired Lord of the Rings. See my brain, Middle England. But no, literally, the author of Lord of the Rings was inspired by landscape about 15 miles from where I am, just south of Birmingham. Autistic info dumping. That's what you're here for. 8 people in the room, incredible. Blimey, pressure's on. Be entertaining, Neil, and don't talk about yourself in the third person. Hi, Toffel. You just woken up? Yeah, I was in bed until 10:30 this morning, or 10:20. Very bad. I had too much red wine last night. But I needed the lion. I needed it. And spent a lot of time watching music on YouTube after watching Notting Hill for about the 5th time in my life. It was really good. Not gonna lie. So yeah, Jenny's from Alabama, and I almost said Alabama in that really stereotypical Alabama accent. I'm not gonna do it. Toffles is in England. You just woken up in England. That's made me feel a lot better. That's good. No, it's good for me because I was feeling like a sloth, and sorry, dog, by the way. I was feeling like a sloth, and now I don't feel so much like a sloth. Um, good one, yeah. Luckily, J.R.R. Tolkien didn't grow up in the Netherlands because it's completely flat. Yeah, I'm trying to think of Dutch authors, trying to be clever, but I'm sorry, I can't think of one. Um, yeah, come to England, Jenny. You'll see where your ancestors in Berkshire are from. Well, you know where they're from. They're from Berkshire. I grew up in Hampshire, south, middle south England. Mm. Hence my cut glass accent, which only in the last year or so, really, I've realised that my accent is absolutely wrapped up in my autistic brain. Wrapped up in my brain. It's all down to my autism because it's very important to me to believe it or not to pick the right words and to say them in a correct way. Oh, my son's going to turn up. Hello, man. I'm doing a live stream. You want to say hello? Am I okay in here? Sorry, I just took advantage. Sorry about that. You go in our room. Am I okay here? Are you sure? Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, why am I in my son's room? Well, because I yeah, that's right. Because things in the background just make it a little bit more interesting. I was going to just do this in my bed, but then I thought there's no background, and it'll be even more boring than it needs to be. So I just thought, what can I quickly, superficially include to make it more interesting? Oh yeah, my son has a couple of cool posters in his room, which is next door to my room. What was I saying? Yeah, my accent and trying to pick the right words. And yeah, people, unbelievably to me, have interpreted my desire to express myself clearly, which I've just demonstrated there, as aloof and arrogant. And no, no, I'm just trying to communicate as clearly as possible. And you have misinterpreted that willfully and not liked me as a result of your own perception, not because of anything I've done or said. Bizarre. So that was a bit of a pity rant, wasn't it? Sorry about that. But I'm good at doing that because late diagnosed autistic, a lot of grief and things to process. Come in spring, it's usually pretty in England. Yeah, do so. Lily's here. Hello, Lily. Um, You had lit 0 cider, but still didn't wake up until 9 AM. Yeah, I thought I was doing well with the drinking, like not drinking as much, but I've been incredibly bored and frustrated, and alcohol is just a quick way to not be bored. It's really silly, but and I spend a lot of time on the computer writing, um, which I love doing, but I need a break from that. And yeah, drinking is just something that keeps happening. Oh, doggy's sort of bizarrely half in shot. Um, create Moomin infodump. Oh, right, cool. Disney Illustrate, nice one. I've heard of that name. The kiddo, how old? My son, he's 13 years old. Yeah. Um, n- Not a Brummie. Who's not? Yeah, not a Brummie. Yeah, I'm not a Brummie either. Nothing against Brummies, by the way. Generally, in my experience, people from Birmingham are very friendly, and yeah, I've lived in the Midlands for a long time, but I'm not from the Midlands. Um, Thinking about late 60. Cool, yeah, a lot of processing. So in my next video is going to be another scripted one, as I said at the start of this. I'm going to share reactions to my diagnosis, which I shared on Facebook. And there's a response from my mum, which requires quite a bit of processing. Yeah, yeah, a lot to say about it. And I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to do one video or two videos about reactions to an autism diagnosis. I think I'll probably do two. One, the one that I've been painstakingly writing and putting off, will be about reactions to my own individual autism diagnosis, and then second part or second video will be uh, the reactions that people shared in my community page. So just giving my point of view on those. You know, the ones that I'm sure you will have heard of, like everyone wants a label these days, or why do you want a label, or you know what I mean. And in fact, if you've got any others, reactions to your autism diagnosis, or just sort of common autism diagnosis reactions, then let me know in the chat. Because it's really important how you react to someone who's realised that they're autistic, particularly late in life, I think, because it's massive. Um, wow, there's 16 people here. Crikey. Um, yeah, of course, big reason why I'm doing this now. Big reason why I make silly videos, trying to process, um, my own autistic brain, using my own autistic brain. Meta. Um, I used alcohol as a teen to feel like I could handle social events, but not anymore. Yeah, the thing is, I don't go out often. This won't surprise you at all. I don't go out very often these days. Um, Knowing I'm autistic has sort of given me permission to just not go out. Don't have to. Um, it's just stressful. People say, "Oh, let's go to the pub." It's like, let's not, because I can't auditory um, separation, noise separation, auditory processing. Really struggle in a pub if it's a noisy pub. Um, I never know when it's my turn to speak. I have this soft monotone, which is really difficult for people to hear in a pub, and I'm kind of always one step behind everyone else. I'm too late with what I want to say, and when I do want to say something, it's usually sort of information based or a terrible dad joke, um, which no one else finds funny. And then I go home and I overanalyze the conversation, which I was abysmal at taking part in. So lots of reasons why I don't go out. But yeah, get me on the drink, and then does become easier because obviously it makes you less guarded, and you just blurt things out, and that can go down really well. And I spoke about that in a recent video where I got drunk and ended up speaking with this girl. This is over 20 years ago. A woman, not girl. Weird. Yeah, woman, 22-year-old woman. Um, and I just started talking rubbish because I was under the influence, and she liked that. And I'm like, it was hideous. It was awful. When I was sober in her company, I didn't know what to say. It was agony. It's like, what am I meant? I don't know. I don't know what to say. If you want me to info dump about the Euro 2000 football championships, then I can do that. But I don't think you want to hear that. I don't know why I picked that as an example. Could have picked that as an example. What is that anyway? Super Zings. I'm not an authority on Super Zings, nor am I an authority on Marvel Comics. But you know what I'm saying. I was like, "What? How am I meant to do this? Sober? Just spend time with someone else and just talk. Talk about what? Um, put alcohol in the mix, and it's like, let's see what happens. Oh, I said a funny thing. That wasn't intentional. Oh, I said an unfunny thing, but don't worry, I'm too drunk to remember it. Well, I will remember it. My brain will play tricks on me and say, "Oh, yeah, you know that thing you said on the 15th of February 2004? Shouldn't have said that." Yeah, but it's now 2025, so why are you even thinking about it? Why did this pop up? This weird film reel in my head showing me my worst moments. Why would you do that? Why would you inflict that pain, brain? Oops. Um, so you probably saw a pile of washing in the background. That's why I've tried to skew the camera. All about perceptions. You don't literally want to see my dirty laundry. Oh, it's not mine, it's my son's, and it's a mountain. I'm not doing that. I'm not dealing with that. Right, anyway, let's get back to the chat. Hey, Juju, fantastic. I think I saw you comment on one of Mike at Autistic AF's. I saw you comment on one of his videos. Um, so yeah, good to see you. Laura's here. You finally made it to a live. Yes. I think, you know, I can schedule these things in. I'm just not, obviously, I'm going to miss some people because of time differences. Um, Sometimes it's just better to just stick the camera, switch the computer on and see what happens. There are 17 people here. I can't believe it. But then you're probably doing what I'm doing, thinking, well, it's Sunday. I'm probably not at work. And if you are watching this while you're at work, I salute your multitasking abilities. Um, Sorry, that's distracting. Um, yeah, sometimes it's better to just stick on the computer and see what happens. So hello, Laura, again. You're just attention seeking. Uh, oh, you've declared that you're autistic. Hugely important announcement. Something that knowledge has changed your self-perception completely and your relationship with the whole world. And someone says, "You're just seeking attention." What? No, no. If anything, like say, Lily, the last thing I don't want. I mean, this is ironic given that I'm on the internet, obviously seeking attention by inviting you to listen to me monologue at my own laptop. But But generally speaking, no, I do not want attention. I want to have the most low-key, peaceful, logical, harmonious life that I can. And drawing attention, in my experience, often means that people misjudge me and denigrate me. And that's not another pity rant because I'm in that habit of having, just ranting about the world. That's just what the way it's been. People have misjudged me just so frequently. I'm just done with it. I don't need the attention. I just want people to know that I'm autistic so that they can, you know, respect my differences and manage their behavior as best they can accordingly, rather than just dismiss it. So, "Oh, you're autistic." Well, who cares? I mean, by someone saying, "Oh, you're just attention seeking," um, they're basically saying, "I don't want to put any effort in. All the effort has to be on you, the autistic person, to fit in with a neurotypical world. I don't want to put effort in to adapt my behavior to help you feel more at ease in this world." That's what that attention seeking comment means. It makes me absolutely furious. Yeah. Um, God, I'm on one today. Right, let's catch up with the chat. Yes, Rickety, Netherlands. Um, I'm a slow drinker, can never keep up with the rounds, then got the complaint I never brought around. Yeah. Yeah, stop buying drinks. Just slow down. Pubs too noisy and drunk people too unpredictable. Yes, absolutely. Um, yeah, drinking to appease southern neurotypicals. Yeah, I just don't do it anymore. Um, and that's the power of self-knowledge, like knowing that you're autistic. Because without that knowledge, I'm telling you, I would have been to many social events in the last 3 years that I didn't want to go to because I felt like I had to. Now I'm like, "No, I don't have to." So it's self-knowledge is self-care. Um, Going out in a cafe, but never into smoke and loudness. Yeah, probably with hindsight, that's what I did. I drank to cope with the sensory um, malaise. Mind you, got stupidly drunk at the Christmas party. Oh yeah, I remember something you said about falling asleep in a toilet cubicle. Yeah, not advisable, but at least the toilet cubicle, it's like safe space. Well, I'm assuming if it was locked. Mind you, if it was locked and you're drunk, it's quite unsafe. I'll think about that one later. Um, Good thing about having an Aspie son and Aspie friend, never have to do sociable. Um, yeah, my son is autistic, undiagnosed. Um, so yeah, hopefully he'll watch some of my videos later in life, or maybe not far from now, not long from now. I don't know. He's got his own interests. He doesn't want to see his old man blather on about autism, but I like to think that he will watch one or two of the videos and help him feel more at ease in this world, because he's going to get judged, or he is being judged, and I'm sure even at this age, he thinks about it. Um, Fear of being perceived rather than seeking attention. Yeah, I'm with that. Lately, all my best friends are autistic. Uh, yeah, I mean, I have got very few neurotypical friends. My best friend is autistic, and I'd count Paul, adult with autism, to be one of my best friends. Um, he's my colleague, but he's become a friend, and yeah, clues in the name. He's autistic. Wonder why we get on. Um, I feel like I've had bad reactions. My friend said, "Yeah, we already knew." Why didn't they tell me? Yeah, that's essentially the frustration I have with my own mother's reaction when I revealed my autism diagnosis. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Because I've spent 25 years hating every bone in my body because I don't fit in, and you just sat on this knowledge that I was different, not good enough. Sorry. Um, so hi, Helen. Hello. Um, if you've not had bad reactions to all my friends, yeah, we already had heard that one, yeah. But yeah, good that you've not had bad reactions. But the why didn't they tell me is really hard to process. My best friend already suspected it, but to her that was no problem because it's just Rick, and that's okay. So that's spot on. That's absolutely like that's a perfect response in my view. Just like you're autistic, great. What's for dinner? You know, how does it? What's it like being autistic? You know, like genuine like curiosity. I'd never get that. And I do understand that people might be worried that they'll say the wrong thing, and that question might come across as quite patronizing. Like, "Oh, oh, what's it like to be autistic?" Like you're a child. That's not what I'm suggesting people should do, but just an adult question like, how has your autism diagnosis helped you feel about your place in the world? How does being autistic affect how you live your life? Just genuine simple curiosity about being autistic would be so refreshing. And I get that people might be worried that they'll say the wrong thing, but really, why be so scared? Just ask. Um, let's catch up in the chat. Leslie, what are your favourite songs from Jagged Little Pill? Well, that is I know it's not a question directed at. Oh no, it is a question directed at me. I've been really dense there. Sorry, I was just Leslie. What if I was thinking you were asking someone above? Or maybe you are. What are my favourite songs on Jagged Little Pill? Sorry, I thought you were asking someone else. My favourite song, and I've been thinking about this bizarrely in the last few days. I think Mary Jane is my favourite song. And I think what swung it is I bought a DVD from the charity shop where my daughter has been volunteering for the Duke of Edinburgh Award. Um, and she said, "You've got to come to the charity shop to see where I've been working on a Saturday." And she's done all her hours that she needs for the award, but she still volunteers. So that's my daughter. Um, and I said, okay, I'll pay a visit. And DVDs for £1 each, and one of them was an Alanis Morissette DVD of her world tour, like 96, 97. And it was just amazing. This DVD for £1. Um, all the songs from the album, and the live version of Mary Jane's just out of this world. She belts out the song. And so yeah, I think Mary Jane is my favourite. But there's not a bad song on the album in my view. Um, Your Hand in My Pocket, I just love that song. I know it's some sort of predictable choice. Um, You Learn that you know. I think ironic. I'm not particularly keen on that one. Having said, there's not a bad song on the album. It's a good song. It's a catchy song. But yeah, maybe because I've just heard it so many times that I don't like it as much as the other songs. But yeah, top three: Mary Jane, um, You Learn, and Perfect. Yeah, probably my top three. So let me know yours. Um, oh, Jenny's probably gone by the time I've got to her comment. Yeah, I've got to do a collab. What is the? I've got my diary here. Jenny collab. How do you handle sensory input or audio processing? I can't read my own handwriting. Anyway, Jenny, I will contribute. But so, bye bye. Um, right, let's catch up here. Um, Sanford, I don't have any, if any, autistic friends in real life, only via the internet. I guess I could call Paul an online friend. I'm guessing that's Paul, an adult with autism. Um, yeah, I mean, great. Like I said, I don't go out very often. I see my best mate, Alex, once every 2 years, and I count people on that I communicate through the live streams on the YouTube discussions as my friends, even though I've never met you. So it still counts. Um, Online friends are good. Everything by text. Yeah, I'm totally with that. I think it's a really difficult thing to explain to a neurotypical person. Like, well, how can you be friends if you don't meet the other people? Why texting? That's a bit weird. Just like in a chat on a live stream or comment under a YouTube video. That's not real friendship. It absolutely is. And I've already said I struggle with conversations, like spoken conversations, because I never know when it's my turn. I'm liable to info dump, and I've learnt through bitter experience that I'm not very good at neurotypical conversation or conversation, you know, as a whole. Um, and a lot of that is because I want to pick the right words and put them in the right order and say what I mean and mean what I say. With text, you can do that, but again, I found, and I've done a video about this, even though my emails include carefully chosen words, that puts off neurotypical people because they tend to be more casual and more succinct, and they find detail intimidating. I'm like, why are you finding it intimidating? I'm giving you details so you know exactly where we both stand. Why is that controversial? I'm not trying to make out that I'm clever by using the occasional long word. I'm using that word because it's the best word I can think of to convey what I want to say. Why are you reading between the lines? Don't read between the lines, read the lines. So text, absolutely. Um, Juju, more than 60 years on this planet. Daughter did a self-diagnosis after diagnosis came out wrong. Wow, that's some experience. Um, yeah, it's an interesting one. Well, self-diagnosis or self-recognition, as I personally prefer to call it, is valid, and I know there's a lot of people on TikTok and you know people who say, "Oh well, I fidget, so I'm autistic because that's a stim." I don't know. I don't know what they say. I don't watch TikTok. Um, I know people are shamefully using autism for clicks, for views, um, and people say they're autistic and they're not. But if you know, you know. I knew a year and a half before my assessment. My assessment was the biggest. The report was the biggest anticlimax ever for me. It's like, yeah, well, this report makes me out to be like some sort of unfeeling robot. And I knew the outcome that I'm autistic anyway. So self-recognition is valid. Um, I always knew I was different, but now I don't have to try to fit in. I can be my full different self. Yeah, I can be my 99% my true authentic self at home. Um, and I'm not even being 100% myself doing this live stream because there's a little voice in my head saying, keep it entertaining. Like the eyebrows just then. If I was my true authentic self even with you guys, I'd be like, just like barely speaking. I probably wouldn't be engaging with you. I'd be watching a music video. Um, but yeah, the permission to be yourself, having the knowledge that you're autistic is really, really important, particularly for people like me getting on in life and energy levels are dipping. being able to preserve our energy and by being our authentic selves, because not being our authentic autistic selves takes up energy. And I don't want to spend time trying to be someone I'm not, or spend energy being someone I'm not. My energy isn't the same as what it was when I was in my 20s, you know? Um, Frida, hi, I don't know what I want to say. Glad to be making a mind map about Swedish property law at the moment. Cool. Now, I have absolutely no interest in Swedish property law, but you can try to make me interested. A mind map about Swedish property law is not something I thought I would say today when I woke up way too late. Um, I hang on, what's Tuju said there? Let me just catch up the chat. I know I'm ADHD, my husband is autistic, but my study is still ongoing. Yeah, I'm both. It's a pain, to be fair. Tug of war. Yeah, I need predictability and peace and quiet. I need novelty and excitement. Those two things generally contradict each other. Oh dear. Bargain, £1 for a DVD. Yeah, absolutely. Tremendous bargain. Probably the best bargain I've ever had in my life. £1 for an Alanis Morissette DVD. Yeah. See, no, they don't even produce DVDs these days, so they're cheap as chips. Everything else is really expensive in this world, in Britain anyway. Just the cost of living is just mad. Except for DVDs and charity shops. So there is hope, people. Most of my real friends aren't autistic but have ADHD. Most of my online friends are autistic. I think my ADHD friend basically adopted me and introduced me to everyone else I know. Brilliant. Community. Because as antisocial as or people assume that I am, um, I want connection. Um, every single human being in the world has wanted connection with other people, autistic or not. And that connection can be through a live stream, text, one letter a year, whatever. However it manifests itself, we all want connection. And yet autistic people get this reputation for being sort of anti-people. We're not anti-people. We're generally, I would say, I am generalizing, but I think most autistic people just want peace and quiet and everyone to get along. How's that anti-people? We just want to get along. Okay. Donnell's here. Hello. Um, I never know what's my turn to talk. Yeah, I used to work at a reception desk. Another, blimey, yeah. Um, yeah. I told today's about turn talking. Turn talking. You see why I script videos or used to do them. I'm starting to do more unscripted because I send the wrong thing. I say the wrong thing. Um, yeah. So I have a job where I chair meetings, and I thought that well, it is intimidating because these are public meetings. Um, but it's brilliant for me as an autistic person because everyone has to take their turn. Um, that's how the meeting is structured, or the meetings. Um, and I thought only recently it's like, no, I get it. I understand why I'm on side with this because normal conversation, it doesn't work like that. You don't say, right, it's your turn to talk, your turn to talk. That people would consider that to be odd. And yet I have a job where I chair meetings where people have to do that. That's the rule. Um, and it's brilliant for me as an autistic person because it's structured conversation, organized fun. Eyebrows again, self-referential again. Um, Sienna's here. Everyone bow down to Sienna, musical genius that she is. I hope you're well, Sienna. Oh, Sienna, I was going to ask if I could steal your latest piece on Instagram, or the one that I saw, and write some lyrics over the top of it, feel free to just say no. Just no, that's mine. I wrote that. Sienna wrote an improvised piece on the piano. It's just beautiful. So have a look at her Instagram. It's just amazing. He might put it on YouTube. I don't know. I've not looked. Yeah, I don't go much to mass clamps at the moment. Sorry, I'm doing this catch up thing. So I'm very bad at the mass clamps on the moment someone speaks to me. I go home and collapse of exhaustion. Me too. I spoke a bit about this in the isolation video that I did, when I went out to see my daughter perform in a musical performance, and the moment I got in the car was the moment I sort of fell into my exhaustion. It's like, I don't have to put on a mask for the 200, 300 people there and, you know, think how to walk, think, just things that neurotypical people do without thinking. I have to consciously tell myself to behave in a certain way so I don't attract attention. And then the moment I got in the car, I was like collapsed. Bit dramatic, but you know what I mean. Um, so yeah, I'm with you on that one, Lily. Lily, even Lily. Lisa's here. Um, hello, Doctor Lyle. Have I pronounced that right? Um, I'm done with not being myself, and yet in social situations, I think the mask comes on unconsciously. Yeah, because we're used to doing it. And if you're 55, then you're, all due respect, you're very used to doing it. I'm 43. I'm very used to doing it. So having said what I've just said about consciously having to sort of guide our own behaviour so we blend in, um, the the masking, so that becomes habit. You just, we're autistic. We're just so used to having to put on that mask to try to blend in. Um, so that in that sense, it's sort of unconscious, but the effort to wear that mask is takes up brain space, and it's very tiring. And I've really noticed the last couple of years my my physical being has just deteriorated, and that's not to get sympathy at all. It's just it's like it's almost been like an overnight thing. Like, I used to be able to run so often. I used to run like 70 miles a week, and that's not a boast. You know it's not a boast. I'm just telling you. People, I think neurotypical people think, "Oh, you're just boasting." I'm not boasting. It's just a fact. I used to run 70 miles a week or 60 miles a week, and easy peasy, because it was part of my routine. And slow running, um, but lots of it. And I used to be very, very fit. And last couple of years, I just can't do that. Um, but I think it might be work related stress as well. But I think the main factor is age. Um, what we got here? Just catch up. Some of my jacket put music. I feel like hand in my pocket, head over feet, and you. There was talking in ironic, so I listened to Alanis Morissette's version instead. Yeah. Head over feet. Yeah, I was never. Yeah, I'm contradicting myself. They're all good songs, but yeah, that's not one of my favourites. But each to their own. Hi, Laura Havoc. Good to see you again. Um, you know, not knowing when to pop in when to interrupt you may lend a bit of my ADHD. Sorry, I've murdered that sentence. Yeah, maybe that's a reason why I struggle myself to know when to speak. ADHD, just thinking about 10 things at once. Um, After having tried to be normal to express myself 50 years, I'm having trouble finding out who my true self is. I hear that so much. I think that's post-diagnosis grief, or post-self-recognition grief. Like, I've been this person for so many years, but that wasn't the real me. And yet, because I've been pretending for so long, it feels like that is the real me. So who am I? Um, and not knowing who you are is, needless for me to say, is absolutely crushing. You're just completely disorientated. Like, I, how am I meant to understand the world if I don't understand myself? You know? Um, so yeah, no, I'm still working on unmasking. I don't mask doing that much. Many of mask intense emotions and crying. Something I'm working on to unmask. I'm shamed a lot because I am a crier. That is a shame. I mean, I cry more these days than I've ever. Well, probably since I was a very small child. Just let it out. But yeah, on my own generally. But crying in public, why is that a bad thing? You know. I'm not anti-people. I'm anti-random question and invasion of my space. Structure, predictability, absolutely. I mean, I annoy my wife a lot because she'll just walk into the room. We're married. That's what happens. One person walks into a room that someone's already in. So I'm in our room, probably hunched over a laptop, writing a YouTube video or watching a music video. Same old, same old. And I've got the headphones on, so my wife has to interrupt um, and disrupt my activity. I have to get the headphones off, and I look at her like, what is it? And she's just asking me. She just wants to ask me a simple question like, "Would you like a cup of tea?" But I just really struggle to not be annoyed by the interruption because I'm in my bubble, my autistic hyper focusing bubble, and to disrupt that is it's like being it's like literally being pulled to one side. I'm like, I didn't like that. I was comfortable doing my thing. I'm doing a live stream. Why would you? Although having said that, my son came in, but I'm in his room, so I'm like, yeah, I'm asking him permission to be here after I already came into his room. So yeah, I'm with you on that one, Helen. Not anti-people, anti-random questions and invasion of space. Sanford, I'm not anti-people. I do try to mask and fit in. However, if I'm too quiet, people have issues. If I speak too much, people have issues. My own boss said that I need to mingle more. I'm trying. That's a really interesting point. Because again, I'm doing an autistic thing of relating a similar experience. But why wouldn't I? Because this is my own live stream. Um, I'm talking about irritation. I got really annoyed with my previous boss who was the best boss I've ever had. She was just a lovely person. Um, but she wrote in my appraisal, it said I need essentially that I need to mingle more with the team. And it really annoyed me because I knew that I was putting in a lot of effort to mask. I didn't know I was autistic at that point, actually. That's not correct. I knew that I was putting in a lot of effort to, you know, work with the team, to communicate with the team. I was trying. This is like 2 years before I realised that I'm autistic. Um, so yeah, being told to mingle more was like really frustrating because I'm trying. And now with the knowledge that I have that I'm autistic, it all makes sense. Like it would be neurotypical to have the small talk conversations in the office, to take more interest in people's dogs. I'm not interested. I'm at work. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be at work. I don't want to hear about your dogs. If I'm going to be at work, I just want to do the thing and then go home and do my thing. So why do you expect me to do things that are not my job description, like take an interest in someone's dog or congratulate someone on their wedding anniversary with gusto? Like, oh my word, you've been married for 15 years. Good for you, but I'm at work and I don't want to be here anyway. See how I'm not really helping the cause of autistic people by being such a grump, but you know. Ahoy, Lee. Good to see you. Um, I've got to play catch up because I went on another rant then. But that's what you're here for. That's what you've got the popcorn. What's Neil going to rant about next? If you haven't got popcorn, then go find some. Um, or not. Let me catch up. I don't know who I am too after masking so well for my whole life. Yeah, yeah. This is it. It's really hard. But again, one reason why doing this type of thing for my I speak for myself is so important because as confused and you know grieving that I am, grieving for time lost, opportunities lost, not knowing who I was for 40 years. uh, That is very difficult to process, and I will keep processing it until the day I die. That pain is a lot easier when I'm able to hear other people describe very similar experiences, which is why one big reason why I do the YouTube thing. And I could stop this tomorrow. I could stop it today, and I'd always be able to reflect on 18 months of regular contact with autistic people, and that will mean a lot to me forever. Um, um, what lyrics would I? Sorry, I'm way behind, Sienna. What lyrics would I? You've probably gone as well. What lyrics would I put to your beautiful piece of music? I don't know. I feel quite ashamed about saying it now because it is so beautiful. I don't think anything I could write would be anywhere near as beautiful as the music itself. So if you were to give permission and I was to actually see this one through, because my ADHD brain will probably prevent me from ever doing what I've suggested. But if I was to actually do what I've suggested and put words to your beautiful music, it it would have to be, I think it'd have to be an optimistic song because it's just so lovely and you know something celebratory, So I'm not quite sure, but a positive song, that's what it would be. Louis, I'm very good at humour. I've studied them all my life, but it's an act, so it's very tiring. Yeah. Um, yeah, but we are, we're all human, aren't we? It's just, yeah, I never used to think that I scripted conversations or consciously copied other people, but clearly I have been doing that for a long time. Um, but it's been that double empathy problem, just most people just don't like the things that I like, don't communicate the way that I communicate. And yet I'm the one that's made to feel like the bad human, but we're both human, so we're all human. So why am I the one feeling bad? I'm not bad. I'm just autistic. Big difference. Just call you Lyle or Lisa. Yeah, sorry. I'll probably call you something. I'll probably call you Sarah tomorrow. I don't know, Lisa. Um, Laura Abbott, I never really maths in general, except the situation where even neurotypicals maths to some degree. Yeah, it's a really interesting point, Laura Havoc. Neurotypical people say or have said, "Oh, well, autistic masking is the same as pretending, putting being a different version of yourself depending on the environment." So, for example, being at work is you put on a version of yourself. Um, Although, like I said, in my previous workplace, people would talk about their dogs and their marriages and like just casual stuff that they talk about at home. So, they're not entirely, being a different version of themselves. But no, autistic masking is not the same as that. It's all encompassing, isn't it? It's like, it's not slightly tweaking your personality to fit in. It's putting on a completely different act to not attract undesirable attention. Um, so yeah, I do get the similarity that people make out that there is. Autistic masking, neurotypical, slightly altering your character, but they're not the same. And you don't need me to say that. You already know. Dunno, he's 69, feel like the telephone pole covered all over with flyers represented when I've presented myself to be masking. I'm tearing off the posters, but I'm afraid there's nothing under it. Oh, there's plenty underneath it all. Well, it's gonna get weird, that analogy, isn't it? Well, you know what I mean. There's, yeah, tearing off the posters because they're decorations and it's revealing the true self, the true naked telephone pole. Again, not something I thought I'd say when I woke up at 10:30 this morning, 10:20. Accuracy is important. Um, Before I was diagnosed as a child, I just thought everything socially related was painful. Turns out it was a result of masking and constant burnout. Frida, thank you for that. Yeah, totally agree. Um, yeah, burnout. That's something that I'm undergoing. Dreading going to work tomorrow. Dreading going to work every day. Just very, very tired. And this live stream is like a sort of a window, um, sort of a sort of a glimmer to break up that Sunday of dread. You know, grim but true. Now that's a haunting and poignant way to describe it. 61 years, a lot of grief, and it's kind of like doing an archaeological dig, trying to find the buried parts. Yeah, well, an equally impressive and creative analogy, Lisa or Sarah or Lyle. Uh, Even not having to smile and let my face relax into watchful impassivity feels wonderful. What a beautiful expression. Yeah, thanks, Lily. So I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure. How can I be sure? I reckon that you have been told in your own lives to cheer up, to smile more, and yeah, I just have a face that naturally doesn't smile. You know, gravity. Just, I'm just like, well, you've said it, Lily, beautifully. Watchful impassivity doesn't mean I'm miserable. Just means I'm taking things in. I'm just surviving, just being, and yet even just being attracts criticism. Um, Very annoying. So I'm really whinging today, aren't I? I agree the pro-crying sentiment, absolutely. Hang on, I've just lost a comment. Needs to be accepted, even honoured to be a crier. Yeah, it's, it's an emotional response. It's people that cry for the sake of it, do they? You know, it's a need. It's based on need. From improvisational singing or creating an improvisation, I can't say that word, improvisational piece on one of my instruments, and a dog interrupts me, that's a problem. Yeah. Um, that reminds me, again, relatable story. Um, Being at Park Run yesterday, and the race director was trying to get everyone to be quiet so he could give the instructions, safety instructions. And everyone was quiet, but the moment he said, "Right, so no talking," and the timing was perfect, a dog just barked and everyone laughed. It's like, well, the dog didn't listen to your instructions. Naughty dog. Naughty dog. I don't know why I did that. I thought it'd be funny, but it wasn't funny. Um, I was told that I am the one removing posters from the telephone pole. Yeah, take ownership over the poster removal. Although I'm not allowed to do that because they're not my posters. Rowan's. My son's called Rowan. Um, my boss doesn't know that I have AS. I have strongly hinted lead, so boss knows I have very sharp memory, numbers and it. Okay, it's up to you. I can understand why you might be reluctant to disclose. Took me 3 months in my current job to share that I'm autistic. I was very scared at the beginning. And I just, I was emboldened to share the information because another colleague had disclosed their own condition, which was a attention deficit disorder, ADD. And I thought, well, if he can share that, then I can share my autism. And it was a good move. Although didn't or hasn't brought the understanding that I was hoping for. Um, Not all of it anyway. Yeah, because people don't really understand autism. Hence the videos. Hence the advocacy. People need telling it again and again from many, as many autistic voices as possible. We need to fight our corner and explain for the neurotypical majority who still hold on to these stereotypes, say that they understand, but don't really. And I'm personally burnt out because I'm just not equipped to deal with these standards, these behaviors that I'm not built to deal with, to copy. I just can't do it. And I have to pay my bills. Stop going to the work Christmas party and getting paid to be with people every day. Why would I want to be with you three? Yeah. I almost put my name down to play in a five-a-side football tournament or soccer tournament for charity. It's in a couple of months, organised by someone in my workplace. Now, I love football. I'm terrible at playing football, but I always like to pretend that I'm not terrible because I love football so much. Um, and I thought, well, charity, good cause. But I just thought, no, I'm going to be with people for a whole day and the weekend who are my colleagues, and I'm going to be terrible at football and probably hurt myself. So, no. But I do go to the Christmas do, and it is, yeah, I feel hard done by. Which again, trying to explain that to a neurotypical person, like, so you feel hard done by going out for a meal or going to the pub at Christmas when it's happy times, but you're upset because they're people that you work with. Explain. It's like, well, yeah, because I'm happier not in a noisy environment, when where I usually say the wrong thing and people think I'm weird. So why would I want to spend time with colleagues? And plus I work with them, Monday to Friday. So that's enough time spent with them. Trying to explain that just makes you sound like a grump. But you get it. I get it. But a lot of people don't. I struggle to have interest in people's lives. I never ask a question. If someone asks me something, I chat probably too much. Yeah, I'm like that as well. I'm like, I am really interested in people, believe it or not. Um, but what am I trying to say here? I don't care what people have done in their weekend. Oh, that sounds really harsh, but I don't care what they watched on television, but they don't care about what I've done either. So why am I the one that's being made to look like the miserable one? I don't know. It's just, yeah, I've got to think about that one because it's related to small talk and, yeah, appreciation of other people. And hang on, get back. I struggle having yeah, and one thing is when I do get talking, um, like one colleague of mine does park run, um, and it's never a 2-minute conversation. It's always like half an hour, and I always feel bad because I feel like I've spoken too much. So it's all or nothing. But I never start the conversation. It's colleague starts the conversation. I feel, well, they've started the conversation. I've got to, you know, take part. They're a colleague. I like my colleague. Now we're talking about running. shared interest, and then, oh, half an hour's gone, and then I feel bad because I've probably monologued about personal best times and stuff like that. Can't win. I'm never good at it. Like I said about an hour ago, God, an hour and 5 minutes. Crikey, where does the time go? Well, that's my point. Half an hour with a colleague, an hour and 5 minutes talking at my laptop amongst friends. Um, Once I get going, it's like when to stop. I can't remember. I think Paul at Autism from the Inside, Paul Micallef, he did a video about. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure there are other videos on this theme of starting and stopping conversations as an autistic person. I'm just hopeless at it. I'm just really, really bad at it. So the easiest way to avoid that sort of self hatred, annoyance is just not have conversations and text instead, or write emails and so on. Um, so never did much to me. Energy flow. Yeah, I wish people just freely info dumped at me instead of waiting for me to think up specific questions. Yeah, I mean, if it's a subject that I'm interested in, I will be very interested. If they're going to talk about cars, or well, I'm trying to think another example, a subject that I'm not interested in. Um, Put in some subjects that you think I might be interested in. I'll tell you. Um, and now in one of my morning meds, I repeat the phrase, "I'm thankful for laughter and humor. You pop into my mind, Neil. I love your humor." Thank you so much. More praise, please. And my wife said something funny last night. Talk of humor. She said, because I was going to go on the YouTube, but on the telly, because normally I'd watch YouTube videos on the laptop, but we watched Notting Hill on telly, and I wanted to stay up longer. It's quite unusual for me. I was, you know, thought, oh, I'm still awake, so I watched some YouTube videos, music videos, and my wife said, "Oh, what, you're going to go on your YouTube channel to see how many people love you?" And I went, "I do that, but I'm not doing it right now." I thought, that's such a burn from my wife. She said, "You gonna see how many people love you?" I'm like, well, confession, people. I'd be a liar if I said that I'm completely devoid of ego. You know that to have a YouTube channel, you have to have an ego. You have to thrive on people's praise and involvement. So thank you. I will take the praise because usually I'm not very good at taking it. Um, hello, Russell, the tech wizard. Um, yeah, I didn't announce this one. It's 24 people. I can't believe it. Um, I didn't announce it because, yeah, it was truly spontaneous. I was somewhat ironically writing a YouTube script, and in true ADHD fashion, thought, "Oh, I'll do something new," and I just thought, "Oh, I'll just try a live stream." And as is often the case with the unannounced live streams, um, people show up, and I just blather nonsense, and people are here for it. So fantastic. So hello, Russell. Um, I'm playing catch up with the chat, which is my habit. Um, I will get to the end of it. As you know, I always get to the bitter end, not the bitter end, the pleasant end. I think my wife's going to come upstairs, and I hate doing this sort of thing when people are lurking. How dare they lurk in their own house? Um, so if I go quiet for a minute, that's why. I'm waiting for my wife to do her thing as is her legitimate right in her own home. And then when I hear footsteps go down, I'll be like, ah, now I can be my normal animated live stream self. Um, so never interested in gossip, Lee said, or ask people questions, not very popular. So one job I did the gossip thing, but I was too good at it. I noticed everything, I had no filter on what to say. That's really funny. Yeah, I remember being in a job and I explicitly said, I am not interested in gossip. But like you, Lily, I could take an interest, but I would just end up offending people. Be like, "Well, you said that yesterday. You said something different to what you've said today. So you're insincere, and I think you should know about it because what they said about you was really harmful." And oh my word! And it's nothing to do with work. It's just sorry, doggy. It's just nonsense, hurtful nonsense. Isn't that what gossip is? Generally, just hurtful nonsense. Why do you want to hurt people? Um, I'd love it if people talked about the guy I'm way behind. If you like dogs, you're gonna love it if people talk about dogs. I'm not bothered about dogs. See, honest, direct. Although I never did say in my previous job, look, guys, can you just stop talking about dogs at work because I find dogs completely uninteresting. I didn't. I just yeah, people just talked about their dogs, and I just did my job for which I was judged for not taking part in the conversation. Not right. I'm doing my job. I don't care about your cocker spaniel. I don't care. I'm sorry. Oh, you want to talk about autism? All right, okay. Let's talk. Although I wouldn't have done that because I didn't know I was autistic until just before I left that job. Um, I have almost no filters. Pretty sure anyone who knows me from other autistic streams knows this well. Yeah. Diagnosed with ASD a couple of weeks ago. Congratulations, Agent X Force. I feel the same, but a little more validated. I'm burnt out, but work now. They have been great, and I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Congratulations on the diagnosis, and brilliant that work are being so accommodating. Um, Good news. See, I know a lot of people know about people who are born completely blind and who are also autistic. I know diddly squat about that, apart from what you've told us, Sienna. Um, and I'm not sure what to say without sounding patronising, but I just think you're incredible. Um, and yeah, I'm basing that on your music abilities, but I'm not being funny about it. To learn how to play an instrument without being able to see, I don't know how. So I'm in complete awe. Um, Currently listening while also jarring honey from my bees. Fantastic. I'm trying to think of the bee-related pun. Desperately thinking about one on the spot and failing miserably. Miserably? That was rubbish. Oh. Um, it's called The Truth. Lily said, I have no problem with that. The difference is auties don't usually mean it with malice. NTs often do. Yeah, I think that's probably true for the vast majority of autistic people. But I can only guess because I'm never ever going to know every single autistic person. So I can only make an assumption. In my experience, most autistic people, when they share a fact, tell the truth, they've absolutely no intention of being hurtful because we want peace and predictability and good manners are conducive to those things. Um, the bullies in my life, I would say they've all been neurotypical people. People who have actively sought ways in which they could make my life a living hell. And I find that unforgivable. I'm getting angry about it now. Why would you hurt people for the sake of hurting them? I just do not understand that at all. I've hurt people. I've hurt lots of people in my life. I know that, and it hurts me to say that and to dwell on it. Um, I've done some terrible things. So I'm not making out that I'm some sort of angel, nor am I making out that autistic people are inherently angelic. They are not. We are human beings with faults, and we make decisions that we later regret. But yeah, I don't. Being truthful as an autistic person, generally, it's just being truthful, not trying to hurt you. Just want to know where we all stand. Clarity, peace. Yeah. catch up on the chat. I'm not too far behind. I love Autism from the Inside. Yeah, he's like a bit of a pioneer, really, isn't he? Paul Mickliffe at Autism from the Inside, because he's been going, I'd say, for at least 8 years, maybe longer than that. Um, and I think he's essentially a full-time autism YouTuber. Um, and he just keeps churning out the videos. Is brilliant. And his video, one of his videos was my penny drop moment. Like, I'm autistic. Nine positive traits about autism, and I was like, why did no one tell me this before? I'm I'm 40, was it 41, and I've just realised I'm autistic. And it was after having watched many YouTube videos, and then his one was the aha moment. So yeah, big fan of Autism from the Inside, Paul Mickliffe. Talks about my weekend means artists on the spectrum. Arlene's here. Hello, Arlene in Canada. Um, Talking about my weekend means exaggerated about my weekend to make it interesting to the listener. Yeah, I mean, if someone asked me at work what I'd done at the weekend, I'd say, well, I did a live stream where I monologued about the challenges and great things about being autistic, or some of them, some of the challenges, some of the great things, with people I've never met, who I communicated with via a chat room, and I did that in my son's bedroom. Do you think anyone wants to hear that? What sort of reaction do you think I'll get if I was to share that? Now, what did you do in your weekend, Neil? Well, I started a YouTube video script. I abandoned it, started a live stream, talked about abandoning that YouTube video script, blathered on about challenges, strengths, made some terrible jokes, um, switched off the laptop, had a cry, went to bed. Did anyone want to hear that? So no, I don't exaggerate. I just say, um, I went for a run and watched the film, which which is which is true. Those are two things I did in the weekend. But if I really wanted to tell them everything, I would say what I've just said, and they'd be like, "What? Oversharing?" Well, you did ask the question, "What did I do? What did you do at the weekend?" I did this, and then they're like, "Well, I didn't want you to tell me that level of detail." Well, what's the appropriate level of detail? I never know. I never know. I never know what the right thing to say is. Then I overanalyze. Um, oh, have you tried ADHD meds? Does it work? I did try ADHD meds for about 4 months. Didn't notice a thing apart from my appetite grew, and therefore I grew. I was not impressed. I'm still not impressed because I can't get down to that weight that I used to be. Um, just just from a running perspective, clearly the lighter you are, the faster you are, and I'm not as light as I was even 6 months ago. Used to whiz around, and now I'm just like, oh, can't do it. What's going on? And I remember the meds equaled more eating, but ADHD meds can work for some people, and I think the majority of people, I believe, I'm not an academic on these things, but some people, myself included, ADHD meds just doesn't happen, doesn't work for them. 29 people here, I can't believe it. 30 people, wow, pressure's on. Autistic AF says hi, Mike, fantastic. He's probably in the chat, is he? I don't know, because I'm way behind as usual. Um, Let me catch up. Sienna, you're an amazing human. Anybody who's blind. You are an inspiration. She is. Uh, I know I keep saying nice things about Sienna, but I'm just saying it because I believe it. Tim, been lurking mostly. Have a good day, everyone. Tim probably already gone. Bye, Tim. Sorry I didn't say goodbye in the right moment. Might choose to get away from ending conversations, look at my phone and say I've just got a text from my mum or hubby or one of the kids. Yeah, who says autistic people can't lie? Um, but a white lie like that, obviously not gonna cause any bother, is it? Um, to my opinion, people hurting each other are afraid of being bullied themselves. It's probably that. I'm not a psychologist or psychology student, but yeah, probably a lot of that. Bullies are, maybe they've been bullied themselves. I don't know, but still, even so, just no excuse for it. Um, oh, Mike's got a live stream on Tuesday. Go if you want a structured, well lit, professional, more engaging live stream, go and watch Mike at Autistic AF. Not that he needs the publicity because he is acing it. He's even got mugs and T-shirts with his picture on it, I think, or logo. Um, I I'm completely jealous. I'm way too disorganized to even attempt to match that. I'm just a middle-aged guy in a second-hand hoodie in a badly lit child's bedroom. If that's the content you're after, then you're in the right place. Although I hate the word if you see, I'm on another rant. The word content, don't know why I'm doing that. Why am I doing that? Because 'Cause I'm sitting on the floor and my back's hurting. Um, content, yeah. Content creator. Oh, just it's like this horribly capitalist word like content. It's like anyway, I rant for another day. Um, bullied make my life hell, makes me mad when kids get bullied. School's been good sorting it. Good to hear it. Glad to hear it. Um, I'd say I live streamed a show for a huge crowd of adoring people. I'd say 27. I've lost 3 in the last 2 minutes because I wasn't entertaining enough, or they had a genuine need to go somewhere else and do something else. Yeah, huge crowd of adoring fans. Yeah, could give them that spiel, but I wouldn't lie. I'd say 30 people, which then went down to 28, then went down to 24, and then 0. Listen to me talk about things that have been bothering me. So I'd just be obliged to tell them the truth. Um, Having a cry is a great way of relieving stress and clearing the mind. Stop before going to bed. Damp pillows are nasty. Indeed. My response to what you did, I'd just say not much. Flip it back to them. Yeah. I get that's part of masking as well. Like, what do I do? Right, because I'm probably going to monologue, and I know how that tends to go. Oh yes, in this situation, just flip it back to them. So, so yeah, I had a busy weekend. How was yours? And my brain's going, I'm not interested in what they did at the weekend, but it's protocol to ask them. So remember to smile and nod. Yes. And how do I get out of this conversation? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Mum's on the phone. I know. I never know how to end conversations. I never know how to end live streams. You will have noticed if you've been to one before. Um, right. Let's catch up. People only ask about your weekend just to be polite. No one really cares. If I'm asked, they get all the details and expect they get bored. Exactly. Exactly that. Um, yeah, that's a great way to say it. It is. Oh, Lizzie's here. I hope you're still here, Lizzie. So you'll be able to hit Lizzie's. Oh, I think you might have lost. I might have lost you. Oh, no, I think I dipped out there. Sorry about that, everyone. I might have to plug in my laptop. Or just wind this up quite soon. Sorry, Lizzie. One of my favourite autism channels, Creative Autistic. I hope you're well. What did you do at the weekend? Well, I would actually genuinely be interested because I'm sure Lizzie's done something really interesting, which I consider to be interesting. Um, And that's I'd rather judge someone's videos on the value and accuracy of the information rather than superficial lighting and background issues. Absolutely, that's the way it should be. Um, but I can't help but feel jealous about well, about Lizzie's as well. Lizzie's because she's an artist and sort of clues in the name, I suppose. Creative autistic. Um, just love the artwork in the background. I love the uniformity of the videos. In terms of the presentation, like it's like a really solid identity. Just love the consistency. Um, yeah, and Mike at Autistic AF, just another YouTubers, not and neurotypical YouTubers, just love the setup, and I just don't know. I don't understand light, sound. I don't know what I'm doing, and I could invest time in fixing it. I mean, Paul at Adult with Autism sent me a very long, detailed, and beautifully autistic email about how to make my channel better. And I kind of asked him to do that. He didn't just info dump on me. He's just been a friend. You know, really generous, like things that he's learned in making his own videos. And in true ADHD fashion, I've procrastinated and not acted on what Paul said yet. But I'm sure if I did, I'd give myself a chance of making videos that look and sound at least a tenth as good as Lizzie's and Mike's videos do. But in the meantime, my videos are just my son's bedroom with all sorts of presentational issues. But there we are. Um, Jeanette's here. Hello, Jeanette. Oh, she's got to go to make tea. No problem. Um, so good. You've said it twice. Yeah, good to see you. Lizzie watched Get Carter yesterday and cleaned the house. I didn't Get Carter with Michael Caine. I've not seen it. Uh, was there a remake of that one? Hmm. It's turning into one of those looking in the mirror, listening to me talking about the issues I've had for a long time session. And that's the problem with me in the live streams. I tend to get people to think about. Well, I think I do. Maybe bigging myself up here, but get people to think about the deep and meaningful about being autistic, and throw in some dad jokes and toilet humour along the way. Hello, dear Lizzie. Yes, the community is very much here, or part of it. Oh, thank you, Lizzie. Yeah, the the it gives structure to my week, I think. Although having said that, it feels like an age since I did a scripted video, and a voice in my head says, "Come on, you've got to keep the content going, keep your adoring fans happy." Um, and yeah, I don't want people to disappear and lose interest. And that's a sort of an ego thing, but also because um, I rely on the channel to give me something to look forward to, because there's a lot in my life that I'm not very happy about, and giving myself that that goal sort of each week or every fortnight if life is too stressful, then having that sort of anchors me really, keeps me sane, and it's almost beside the point whether anyone actually watches the videos, because I'm like, you know, selfish point of view, I I need to make the videos, because if I don't, then I'm gonna feel even worse than I already do. So yeah. Um, Tim, same with the ADHD meds work a bit, but yeah, wait on trying to, yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a universal thing. Well, I've already said that some people react in different ways to ADHD meds. If they work for you, then good, great. But I just couldn't get on with it, which I'm gutted about, because the ADHD for me is really debilitating. It really makes work hard. It's fantastic for coming up with crazy ideas. Not crazy, that's the wrong word. Creative ideas, YouTube videos, songs, poems, music reviews, fun stuff. ADHD, it's fantastic for me, but that doesn't pay my bills. So for 35 hours in the week, I'm in a straitjacket, having to do things I don't want to do. And that hurts a lot because I know now that I'm neurodivergent and my talents lie elsewhere, and yet I'm not truly recognized. Um, so I carve out this niche in the internet and satisfy that hunger to be autonomous and creative, even though I'm not getting paid for it. Um, though I really wish that I was. But unless I act on Paul's advice and take notes from other better YouTube channels, I'm not going to change the situation. Um, but if if I still have this community and people still show up, then that's 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 the lottery, isn't it? That's not the lottery. That's the win. That's what I'm looking for. Hey Scott, good to see you. I'm just looking at my energy bar there. Oh yeah, I might have to dip out anyway. It's 5 o'clock. Christ, I was meant to go. Well, I meant to go for a run, do the dishes, make dinner shortly, write that YouTube script, write a music review. But I did the live stream, and I'm glad. And I said to myself, "Oh, it's only going to be half an hour if anyone shows up." But I knew I lied to myself because these live streams are way too much fun, and before you know it, hours pass, and it's always fun. Um, I didn't like Get Carter, not keen on Mike Caine, very misogynistic. That doesn't surprise me, even though I've not watched it. It's of a certain era, 60s, 70s. Yeah. Although I did see a film with Michael Caine, the last film that he's ever going to do, about this guy that left a care home and went to um, the D-Day celebrations. It's a true story. During the pandemic, he just walked out of his care home in Eastbourne or wherever it was and got the boat over to France and took part in the D-Day celebrations. And Michael Caine was amazing in that film. So yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but it was out a couple of years ago. Go and watch it. Um, Matthew, part of the value of what you're doing is to remind people they're not the only people who feel this way. Absolutely, thank you. I'll take the praise. Yeah, that's why I watch other people's videos, because I need those reminders. I mean, Lizzie's videos are super relatable. For example, late diagnosed fellow Scottish person who's lost their accent. I don't know why I said that. And yeah, I need that reminder and reassurance that I'm not just this odd person, that I have the same neurotype as lots of other people. So in that sense, I am normal, you know? And it's not so much wanting to be normal, it's just wanting to be part of the human race and to be valued. And watching YouTube videos, and making YouTube videos is hugely important for that, for my sanity and a sense of belonging. Um, Arlene, Artist on the Spectrum, go and see Arlene's channel as well, Artist on the Spectrum. Really loved the delivery. Arlene probably should have put that in the comment. Um, yeah, very wry, um, very relaxing. Can I say that? A very funny delivery. Your video drama bits are always delightful, very creative. Yeah, I've not worn a dress in a couple of weeks, which I probably should not say too loudly because my wife's coming upstairs. Um, yeah, and that disappoints me that I've not worn my wife's clothes in 2 weeks. That might not disappoint you, or it might. Um, but don't worry, everyone. You heard it here first. I will wear a bra sooner rather than later. Oh, and also for a YouTube video. Um, if that's the content that you're here for, to watch a small middle-aged man in Middle England wear women's clothes for laughs and understanding about autistic issues, then yeah, you're in the right place if that's what you want. So thank you, Ollie. Um, don't know. It's so helpful to know that others out there like me. Yeah, helpful slash crucial, I would say. Um, DJ Black Tourmaline, what a name! That's how I feel about music. I keep making it. People keep hating it. I'm sure that's not true. Um, I made a pretty awful punk song yesterday. It's on my other channel. Pardon the shameless plug. It's it's pretty awful. But again, it was the process. I and I knew as I was making it, it was like this is not quite working. Um, but I'm just making it for the sake of making it. And I just 4 hours just went by like a blink of an eye. I just had great fun, and that's isn't that why we're here? To have fun whenever we can. Didn't harm anyone. Just made a stupid punk song. Um, Feel free to hate it, but you're missing the point if you do, um, because it was just me having a moment that lasted 4 hours, and yeah, there we are. So I'm sure people don't hate your music, and if you're doing it just for you, then great. Um, Lisa, we recognise you're most grateful for what you provide. Thank you. Um, Praise is always appreciated and keeps me going. Making the channels keeps me going as a person. I had some pretty pretty rotten comments in my time doing these videos. Thankfully, very rare. Um, Hold on to the good ones, and that's an occupational hazard of having a YouTube channel. You are going to attract people who don't say nice things, but it's not about you; it's about them. Um, Hang on, let me just catch up. Uh, I'm waiting for my evaluation so I can talk about myself as an autistic person without feeling like an imposter. That's fair enough. You know, I personally refer to myself as autistic way before I had my assessment and my report, but I completely understand why you want to wait until you've actually got that final conclusion before you disclose to other people. It's all should be your choice. Um, I think your channel will really pop one day. You probably just need to concentrate a wee bit on SEO in the meantime. Keywords in your video description. Yeah, I think I mean, if it pops or not, fine. But the search engine optimization, that sort of thing, I just have paid very little attention to. Only very recently have I started to delve into that, and I feel slightly off about it because I'm like, oh, this is really calculated. But I'd be a liar if I said I didn't want my channel. Um, I would be a liar if I said I don't want my channel to be popular, that I don't want people to watch my videos. Of course, I want them to watch it. Um, Paying attention to SEO, tags and hashtags and all that sort of stuff is clearly going to help more people have access to my videos because there's so many made every second of the day. And if they're going to rise to the top, as it were, then you need to do the calculated, organized parts of running a YouTube channel, like paying attention to keywords, and it's just not something I've thought about until very recently. Um, so yeah, I really ought to just get onto it. But it's not the fun stuff. It's not the just wear my wife's clothes and upload, you know, because that's generally how I've played it for 18, and then wondered why 400 views? That's rubbish. But I remember when I started back in the very uh, first few months, I was getting like 50 views would be like amazing, and it is amazing. 50 people, well, 25 views were me just checking that the video was still there. So 25 views, 25 people potentially taking time out of their day to watch your video. That's a massive win. And now I'm like, "Oh, 400." But actually, I'm really, really chuffed because I remember having 50 views and being really chuffed. So, sorry, chuffed is happy to all you American, Dutch, Canadian people out there. Um, Scottish flag, brilliant. Playing a match tonight, I think, against Greece. I don't know why I'm sharing that. I don't think you're a footy fan, Lizzie. Right, sorry, I think my wife's coming up soon. Not that this is secretive or anything. It's just like I said, I just feel odd talking into the laptop when someone else is nearby. Um, Michael Caine has been in so many movies from superb to horrid. Yeah, I imagine that is true. I've not watched many of his films. Um, Wi-Fi coach dipping out. Yeah, my energy bar on the computer is running rather low, so I might have to wrap up soon. I've said that about 3 times. Sorry. It's invaluable to listen to each other and hear we're not alone anymore. There are others like us. No need to pretend. Yeah, just be yourself. Um, it's truly liberating, isn't it, to not wear the mask? And live streams is one of the few opportunities that I have personally to just be myself to a large extent. Obviously, I'm hamming it up a bit for purpose of entertainment, because as I said, if I was to be my true, authentic, autistic self, it would not be very entertaining for you. Um, right. Uh, Thank you for the feedback. It really means that I'm starting to feel part of the autistic community and it makes a difference to my mental health. Arlene, or artist on the spectrum. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely wonderful to hear that. Um, Being on part of YouTube autistic community has been priceless for my mental health. Because my mental health, as to quote someone who commented on one of my videos, my mental health has been in the toilet over the last 18 months. I've been in a very, very dark place, more often than I would have liked. Um, so doing this and making daft videos, it's been crucial for me, and it works for other autistic people. Whatever your outlet is, special interest. You know, you don't need me to tell you that special interests are not. Um, that they're not out of selfishness. They're out of self-regulation and having joy in the world at no cost to anyone else. And likewise with the YouTube videos, it's I just want to make stuff all the time, be lost in the moment of creating. If any of those creations can mean something to someone else, then that is the absolute win. Sorry, I got on my pedestal, my soapbox then. Scott's just getting up, it's noon. Get out of bed, Scott. Um, Took my dog for a tramp in the woods today. The dog loved it, but the tramp wasn't too happy. Boomch. See, if Mike was doing it, Mike at Autistic AF, he'd probably have a little drum sound effect button just to hand. Just go boomch. But I have nothing like that. What have I got? I've got a dog, a broken pair of headphones, and God knows what that is. Anyway, I'm in my son's room. Oh, I've got to put the plug in. Um, can you all bear with me while I do that? I'm going to go and get my plug. Bear with me. Oh, right, here we are. Excuse me, everyone. Yes, we have liftoff. Sorry about that. Um, I had to plug it in because it was saying energy saver on. A bit like me in a social setting. Like, woo. um, I'm out of breath. That's how unfit I am. I just fetched a plug, and I'm actually like heavy breathing. I used to run 70 miles a week. Yeah, well, you don't do that anymore. Um, oh, sorry, bye, Jeanette. Got to flight. We'll watch when I get a piece. Stop getting constantly nattered to get on my tea. Good to see you, Jeanette. Moose is here. Hello. I recognise that name. Um, all right, Jeanette. Just a quick question before I go. What's the difference between the emojis on the text and the ones on the right-hand side with the red heart at the top? I'm a techno gibbon. I don't understand. Techno gibbon. That's great. Um, Moosey, a bit late to the party. Don't worry. That's it's always going to be the case with these live streams. Some people get in at the beginning, some at the very end. I remember Autistic Jenny turning up just as I was saying, right, thanks very much, everyone. Take care. And then Autistic Jenny, who big inspiration to me starting YouTube in the first place, said, "Hello, everyone," and I was like, "Oh no, I'm wrapping up now, Jenny." And yeah, that was awkward. Um, so yeah, to answer Jeanette's question, what's the difference between the emojis and the text and the ones at the right hand side? Uh, I don't know. Is the answer to that one. Hopefully, someone else answered that question. Why am I in my son's room? Honest answer is because I thought I'd I've seen the emojis. I thought it'd be too boring to just look at a white background because that's what it is in my room next door. Um, Purely superficial to have those two things. I thought would be more interesting to look at, and it's probably not very interesting, but and the lighting is just awful. I've put no thought into this other than the posters, and that's why I'm in my son's room. Change of scene. It's at the very top of the house, so yeah, people less likely to hear my dulcet tones. Um, Cheers for the stream. My pleasure. I'm very glad that myself opened up YouTube randomly found you live. Today was getting crap, but listening to you turn it around. Thank you, Matthew. I love that. I've totally justified why I got distracted and put this on instead of doing many other things that I tell myself I should do. And I will wrap up soon because I do have to do those things like feed my kids. It's like, Dad, we're starving. It's 11 p.m. We've not had any dinner. Yeah, I'm on a live stream. It's really important. I make this connection with the autistic community. You know how much it means to me. So can you just go and see what's in the bins or something? All right then, Dad. You just can't please everyone in this world, can you? You can't be a fantastically popular YouTube live streamer and a good dad at the same time. And if you can, then let me know how you're achieving that because I am failing. Um, so yeah, hopefully, Jeanette, you got an answer to your question about the emojis. Um, Laura, I have it. I'm between special interests at the moment. My brain is deciding on what random thing it's going to obsess about. Yeah, yeah, I'm like that as well. Although I do tend to come back to uh, you know same interest. Like YouTube has been an interest of mine for 18 months, as you know. So I do keep coming back to that. Football and music, of course. Um, but yeah, I do like the novelty. The ADHD part of my brain says, "What's new?" And I think the novelty is within the interests, like music, for example. It's endless. There's just so much music, and so I'll be obsessed with a particular song or a band or a type of music, um, and that's where the novelty, the variety comes because of just the different genres, different songs. So it's still the same interest, but there's variety within it. But yeah, I'm always searching for the new thing to be obsessed with. I'm not so much now because I'm conscious that I know that I have an ADHD autistic brain. I don't buy books as frequently as I used to because I know what happens. I buy the book because it's new, and then I don't read it. And it's really frustrating because I want to read it. I want to have what's in the book in my brain, but I get onto another book, another interest. So I have all these books in the house that I've not read. They're just there to make me look clever. Um, you have what you have, and you still make your lifestyle work. Be proud of it. Cheers, Scott. Yep, make do with what you have. I've got a lot more than most, I dare say. Um, yeah. So I'm trying to be a profound pause. What can you say that's more meaningful and not sarcastic? Um, yeah, I think about death a lot these days. Sorry, I should have put a trigger warning. Um, and I'm very aware that I'm on like a downward curve, like energy levels, and just I can't I can't do things as much or in the to the standard that I want to do them. Um, and it's sort of increasingly beyond my control because the age just can't keep up. It's inevitable, and I'm more and more grateful for just like simple things, really. Um, for my health, um, that I can do this. Um, yeah, I, d- I I'm not interested in genuinely not interested in being like Mr. Beast or whatever it is on YouTube. But I would like to be um, financially um, solely dependent on YouTube income, absolutely, so that I could not go to work and work for myself. That's my dream, um, and that's not to be rich, to have lots of money. That is for my health. Um, so yeah, I'm working on it, I think, but not working hard enough because I need to pay attention to SEO stuff and tags and whatnot. Um, be a bit more strategic about how I'm going to be more autonomous because I need it. It's not like I just want to be on YouTube all the time. Um, it's not so much about being on YouTube all the time. It's about being in control of my week, my month, my year. Which is quite an autistic thing to say, isn't it? Like, oh, I want to be in control of my immediate environment and my routine. Well, actually, that's it's based on health and well-being rather than a need. From my point of view, it's more and more about health and well-being, uh, and not so much about that autistic need for routine. Um, just talked about my version of autism as I always do on these live streams in my videos. I'm not saying that because this is what I want. That's what everyone who's autistic would want. It's just me. Um, Talking to Michael Caine, friend a few doors down is his cousin. Half of his ND like me. All the kids went to school together. She doesn't see them much. Cool. What connection? I love the connections. Famous people. Arlene knows a lot of famous people, I think. Uh, I've cracked you up, Lisa. That's in a good way, I hope. The emojis on the side float emojis on the screen in real time. Yeah. Do use the emojis. There was a little flutter of hearts and I don't know, trombone. I don't know why does the trombone, trumpets, party poppers. Anyway, feel free to click up. There we are. Look at that. Wonderful. Little boost. Little boost to the self-esteem. 100%. 100%. Yeah. Just random monkeys writing Shakespeare. Yeah. Just go for it. Actually, yeah. Stop now. Yeah. Can you stop? Thanks. Stop. Thanks. Oh, it's all coming. No, seriously, stop. Thanks. Um, right. Hi, John. In Canada will not be the 51st state of America. Politics. They are. I've managed to stay relatively politics free in this live stream, but just the mere sight of the maple leaf has set me off on one because that's how my brain works. I saw E Power Biggs play the organ when I was 3 years old, and I've been obsessed with music ever since. Cool. How inspiring. Just, since 3 years old. Creative autistic. I have dreadful problems with reading. Graphic novels been great for me though. Um, yeah. Well, talking of graphic novels, my son's got tons of them. He's got a massive pile of them over there. But yeah, it never really appealed to me. But just the satisfaction of finishing a book, whether it's words, words and pictures. Can't actually remember the last time I finished reading a book. Um, let's get back up to the chat. Lizzie, did you read M. Caroline's Invisible Differences? Yep, do talk amongst yourselves. Just hoping Brains isn't the time my interest is going to be true crime, war atrocities, and general dark side of humanity. Still scarred from some of the video essays and docs I watched. Yeah, you've got to be careful of that. I mean, one of my, dare I say, special interest is politics, and because of it, because of it being a special interest, my mental health has just nosedived, and so I have to backtrack. Like, no, you can't get too involved because you can't control it, and you can't control the events, and they're horrific, and you're going to be no use to anyone if you're not looking after yourself. So yeah, it's a really tricky one. Reading about the dark side of humanity and feeling completely bewildered and upset by it because you can't change it. And because I'm autistic, I'm a solutions person, and to live in a world where people aren't interested in solutions and they're quite content for people to be hurt and killed, as long as it's not them, I just can't deal with it because there are solutions. They're there. You don't have to rack your brains. The solutions are there, but people aren't choosing them, and that just twists my brain. I just can't be ever at peace with it. So you've got to be careful about your true crime and your politics, and because you can get really, really upset by it. In my view, you might be able to compartmentalize much better than I can. In which case, brilliant. But I just can't do it. Too afraid to speak to people right on social media. Even writing to comment is hard. Do enjoy listening to your live streams. Thank you, MZ or MZ, MZ, MZ. Thank you for commenting and taking the plunge. Yeah, I totally understand why you might be reluctant to type on the internet because it's there for everyone to see, but this is a safe space, and very few people are going to watch the full recording of this. So yeah, and I've never done sort of the house rules thing. Like, if you're going to listen to me blather on, you must not do this and you must not do that. I've just assumed that people are going to be sensible, and they always have been. I think this is number 5 or 6 live stream. So yeah. Always looking at the bright side of life. One of my favorite songs, one of my favorite films. Um, yeah, isn't that Life of Brian? My favorite line in history. Graham Chapman as Brian says to the crowd, "We are all different," and a guy in the crowd says, "I'm not," and I can just spend the whole day thinking about how clever and funny that line is. So yeah. Um, Bought so many books and read them Audible all the way now. Yeah, I mean that's something that's an alternative to reading words. I mean, as much as I like writing and communicating through text and reading other people's words, 250-page book or whatever it might be, just seems beyond me. But audiobooks is something that I probably ought to try, spend more time seeing if it works for me. So yeah, good alternative. Being middle-aged is getting less energy, and sadly so, yeah. And you know it's gonna happen. We're all, if you're lucky enough to live into middle age, and you know that you're going to have less energy, and yet I wasn't quite prepared for, the, you know, deterioration. You know, I was arrogant enough to think that I was somehow exempt from the effects of old age. I'm not. I'm the same as everyone else. You get old, you get less energy. But now I know I'm autistic, so I'm kind of settling in to my true self. Although the fact that it's such a late realization is something that I'm still struggling to accept. That's the difficult part. Aging, yeah, aging sucks, but it is a privilege. Yeah, um, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful to be around lots of people don't get for this far. It's a bit grim topic, sorry, but I did bring it up. Um, good for you for writing when it's scary for you. Yes, good, absolutely. Um, you could try not trying. That's pretty harmless. Puns. If we're gonna have house rules, then rule number one, or be in the top three anyway, would be um, uh, incorporate a pun at any possible opportunity. Not trying. Haha, love it. Lizzie, it's an amazing graphic novel about women getting diagnosed with autism later in life. Superb. Um, used to be the same way, watching streams for years without ever commenting. Something changed now. I'm very active in several communities. Yeah, grand. Um, I do completely understand, as I've just said. Oh, commenting's for other people. I'll just watch and listen. Um, but to put it bluntly, if there were no comments, people weren't commenting. This would have stopped 2 hours ago. Facts, just spitting facts. So without the comments, from my point of view, there's no live stream. And I'm pretty sure that's generally how it works. Like anyone who does a live stream, if there's just a blank space, they're gonna give up and not, and they're gonna delete the recording. So I am grateful for people commenting because it means that the live streams work. Um, Autumn's, but I wish we could make a living contributing in the ways that come naturally. Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, I just haven't cracked it. I'm useless at self-promotion, believe it or not, with a YouTube channel. And I see YouTube, people on LinkedIn, YouTube, who appear to be making a living out of their autistic advocacy, autism advocacy, ADHD advocacy. And I'm just like, how do you even get started? How do you get a platform to, how do you consistently convince people to give you a platform and then get paid for it? Why can't I get paid for it? Just haven't sussed it out yet. And I may never suss it out, but I will have made several videos and had several live stream conversations, and it's all good times. You know, it's a shame for me that I won't have made a living out of it, but I've made friends along the way. You know, that's what it's all about. Um, Dopamine pops. A good name for a song, that. Dopamine pops. Our president's such an embarrassment. Sorry, Canada. Isn't it? It Mark someone. I really ought to know that. Mark Carnier? I just made that up. He's a politician in where I am. Used to be the head of the Bank of England. Is he the embarrassment, or are you talking about Justin Trudeau? Because Justin Trudeau can do one. If you don't know what do one means, it's a Midlands phrase for, you know what, not a fan of Trudeau. Sorry if you are. But I'm all for Minnesota becoming Canadian territory, though. Yes, I think maybe a few Americans would say the same thing. Like, yeah, we don't want Canada. Well, hang on. Canada doesn't want to be part of America, but some Americans might want America to be part of Canada. I don't know. I don't live there. I'm just guessing. Hello. I can't pronounce the name SNLKFD. First time participating in the live stream chat. Welcome and well done. Same in politics, constant infuriating heartbreak. Yeah, beautifully put, Eileen, sadly. I vote for Washington State joining Canada. I really want to go to Washington State. I'm obsessed with a song by a band I've just found out about today. I'm hoping to review their next album. You heard it here first. Oh God, what's it called? Junior. Great Grandpa Junior. And they are from Seattle. Hang on. Seattle's in Washington, isn't it? It's Portland that's in Oregon. Right. So, oh my word. What a song that is. I can't wait to hear the new album. And I really want to go there one day. Oh, Washington State. Tom, thank you for your channel. Don't feel alien. Thank you for your nice words. I don't feel as alien as I used to because I'm amongst friends. But the moment I leave the front door, I feel like an alien because I'm made to feel like one. Oh, Ricketts gone. Gotta go now, everyone. Bye bye. Thank you. I think you were here from the very start. Wow, I salute the effort. I will wrap up soon. I mean that because I have to feed children and do stuff, other stuff that's less important than feeding children. Feeding children, top, and then everything else less important. Mark Carney, yeah, I said Mark Carney, Mark Carney, yeah. Thank you, Eileen. Is he not liked already? It's only just started. Just done watching a video from Sienna, watching a video from Kim Sage. It was about the ways we mask autism. It's kind of made me stop and reflect. Let's scribble that down. Dr. Kim Sage. It's gone in the book. Thank you. Lizzie, your live stream expert for me. I liked it again, but I need to figure my stupid mic out, and I'm dreadful at following instructions. But I'm not even using a mic on this, so I'm not quite sure how you guys can even hear me. Yes, I know that there is some sort of inbuilt mic, but I didn't think it would be good enough to pick up on my dulcet tones. Because I've watched other live streams and people have got the gear, they've got the setup. I haven't got any of that. I've just got a laptop and a plug. So yeah, not quite sure how it's working. One day I want to have. There's one. She's called Ember Green. She's not. It's not a real name. It's a pseudonym. But Ember Green. Her videos are always beautiful. Like that, she's got funky lights going on in the background, and a bit like Mike at Autistic AF, like a dark room but well lit, like Paul at Adult with Autism. Because I don't understand light, I haven't managed to replicate what they do. I am just an enthusiastic amateur, always have been, always will be. Hang on. Lily, I suppose it's like watching a movie, you can put down, pick up, go back to check things, go watching in bed on the sofa. Absolutely. I think it's about listening to audiobooks. Yep, with you on that. My own reluctance to comment comes from being used to people not listening, reading in most situations. Yeah, Matthew, welcome to my own brain. Uh, yeah, I'm not going to contribute to a conversation because I know that when I do, or usually when I do, people misinterpret what I'm saying anyway. So just be quiet. So then people can't make assumptions that aren't accurate. Totally get that, but this is different because this is not. This is an autistic safe space on the internet. So I hope you're more minded to share. Because if there's any nonsense or offensive behaviour, then well, just call it quits. Call it out. Call it quits. Thankfully, none of that's happened. and may it never happen. Um, part of me wants to write page on page if I come across someone who resonates. Usually it doesn't work. That's a really interesting point, Matthew. I've definitely done that. When I've wanted to when I I'm really, really hurt by a couple of people. I mentioned this in a comment to someone else's comment on my video about isolation. It really bothers me that two people who sought me out to talk about projects that they wanted me to be involved in, like poetry projects. We had a Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting, um, two separate meetings, two separate projects, and I was all in, and I was really enthusiastic, and I never heard from them again. And I know now why. Well, I think I know why. I didn't know I was autistic back then. It was 5, 6 years ago. Um, because I was too enthusiastic and too detailed, and that put them off. And I'm like, how has that put you off? I'm 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 saying I'm on side with what you want to achieve, and it was the equivalent of pages and pages. I was, you know, da 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 da, because I'm really invested in this, and then radio silence, nothing. And that's been a pattern in my life. Like all or nothing. Like I'd say nothing, people judge me. Say too much, people judge me. Can't win. I'm not after sympathy. I'm just trying to, talk about resonating, about resonating with your experiences. Um, again, why I do live streams to remind myself that I'm not alone. That people have similar experiences, and that makes me feel more at ease with myself because I don't want to be. I don't want to believe that I'm a weirdo, and I know I'm not a weirdo because there are other people who are like you, Matthew, who would want to write pages because they're enthusiastic and they want to convey what they mean, um, or not say anything because they know that they might be judged in certain environments, but not here. Here is good. Um, not just a Midlands phrase. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, do one. I thought it was a Brummy phrase, like I do one. Oh, that's not a Brummy accent. Yeah, terrible attempt. Because I've never really heard it until I moved to the Midlands. I'd never heard it down south in Hampshire, where I grew up in the 90s. Um, so yeah, I didn't. Thank you. Do one. It can translate anywhere. There's one thing you take from this live stream is the phrase "do one," which is, I suppose, a polite way of saying "f off," because we don't want to say that. That's horrible. Matthew, on your statement, I've given engaging less most places. I think. Oh, thank you, Musi. Um, Yay, Seattle. My son is a musician in Seattle. Oh, he might be in that band I've just recommended, or not. That'd be a massive coincidence. Um, where we get back up here. Oh, Russell's gone. Probably went about 2 hours ago. Um, we use the same phrase simultaneously. Our kids could start their own YouTube channels and live stream. We're hungry. Make dinner, please. But, that's not too far fetched. Probably my daughter would get me on the WhatsApp and go, "Hey, Dad," or whatever it is on her phone, FaceTime. Where's my dinner? And sometimes she creeps into she creeps. She doesn't creep. That's a rude way of saying it. She logs on to this. She might be doing it now because she might be able to hear me from where she is downstairs, and then she'll tell me that she was in a live stream, um, and try and embarrass me, saying, "Oh, I heard you witter on about me, Dad. I don't like it." Like, well, I didn't know you were there because you crept in. Um, Cooking is a special interest for me. Wish I could make dinner for all of you. Yeah, I'm starting to make myself hungry now. Yeah, I will honestly have to wrap this up short. I cannot believe 2.25 hours feels like 5 minutes. Too much fun because you make it fun. Um, Sound is fine, yeah, I don't understand how. Um, yeah, yeah, Ember Green. Not watched one of her videos for a long time, um, but she made some really long videos quite recently, like movie length videos. Um, but every one of her videos that I've watched have been really, really interesting, and she's explicitly political in talking about autism and her autistic experiences. So yeah, I'm on side with that because it's all very educational and pretty snarky. Um, yeah, very very witty. So yeah, she's an autism autistic YouTuber based in Germany, but she's from England. Anyway, check her out. Check out the videos. Um, Russell's yeah. Sorry, I missed you, Russell. Noise quality seems great. The mic isn't very good. My so it bought me an entry like yeah. I probably ought to get a mic. Um, yeah, but I'm just mystified by it. I don't know how it works. I mean, I'm very close to the laptop. Um, God, the lighting is truly dreadful. I just noticed. Sorry, I just don't know what I'm doing. Um, no expect, but yeah, light yourself from the front and colours lower down for atmosphere or background. Light yourself from the front, colours lower down. Yeah, yeah, it makes sense when it's written down. Dark is good. I like the mic in the Ryan Kelly stream. It's kind of flat with no echo. Hmm. And then Lizzie, I wish I could cook. Yeah, let's just share things we're not very good at, or think we're not very good at. Saying that I'm able to cook as a completely blind autistic person, I have tools and accommodations to help, so now I have no need to worry about accidents. Blimey, it's yeah, I just can't get my head around Sienna. Just how you manage, brilliant. Um, I'm listening on my phone, so I wasn't meant to be patronising, but yeah, I'm just saying it as I think it. I'm listening on my phone, so the mic quality doesn't make much difference. I also don't really mind any kind of lighting. Yeah, I think sound is reflection. Sound is definitely the most important thing with these YouTube video things. It can look pretty dreadful like this one, but as long as you can hear it, then really that's the main thing, I suppose. Just my tuppence worth, if not that you wanted my advice on how to start a YouTube channel, but if you ever did want my advice, you know where I am. autisticnotalien@gmail.com. Or I mistyped this the other day. Autisticnotalien@gmail.com. Not that I'm the expert, as you know, but happy to give my view if you want any help on anything. Well, not your tax returns. Can't help with that. Um, something down if you do, damn if you don't kind of situation for a lot of us. Yes, absolutely, Sienna. Which is why I've removed myself from uh, groups, social gatherings as much as I can, because I'm just sick and tired of being misperceived and viewed as being in the wrong. It's just grating. It's just annoying. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being looked down upon for just being. It grinds away. So I just remove myself, cut down on the variables, and keep myself to myself as much as possible. And I consider this to be a social gathering, even though I'm talking at a laptop in my son's bedroom with no one else in the room. Um, and again, this is a lot more manageable because spoken conversation is just like flyby comments, like you're in the crossfire. This is a lot more controllable because I can take my time, pick out a random word or look at a comment, and then that sparks a comment from me, and it's a lot more manageable. Dare I say, for a neurotypical person, it would not be as fun because they prefer they just they just feel better in a social setting. And I'm massively generalizing here. Um, going to someone's house where there's a group of people and have a few beers or not, just sit and chat. That's their safe space. That's what they look forward to. And I'm like, no, give me this, a chat board where I can, believe it or not, think about what I'm saying, um, and still feel that I'm in a social gathering. Oh, that's weird. Why would you talk at a laptop to people you don't know? Well, feel like I know them because they're autistic. I assume. I know Lizzie is. I know Sienna is. Um, and Helen. Same names. Great. Um, don't love the process of cooking so much as the results. Yeah, I think I'd agree with that one. With the video making, I really love the process, and then the results, I'm like, meh. But yeah, cooking is an exception. It's like all about the results, obviously. One thing I can't understand is why people ask questions when they're not interested in the real full answer. Yes, I end up not saying anything at all in most situations. Yeah, likewise, I'm mystified. So if you don't want to know, don't ask. You know, and if you're frowning at me for giving you a 5-minute monologue about how frustrated I was at how poor the lighting was in the live stream that I spontaneously chose to do, well, you asked me what I did at the weekend, and I'm telling you. If you didn't want to know about the lighting in my YouTube live stream, then don't ask about my weekend. Yeah, I know. I know it's not as simple as that. One thing I can't understand is why people. I've just read that one. Yeah, Brummy say, "Oh, 0121 for do one." Oh, is that right? Because there's a guy, Stephen Tries, who videos I used to watch maybe before the pandemic. He's very silly and very rude and very popular, and he's in Manchester. And they say, is it 0161 something something? Anyway, I didn't know the Brummies say that, so thank you for that. 0121 do one, brilliant. Um, uh, your unmasked bare bones laptop live is more than adequate. Don't beat. Oh, cheers, Stephen. Um, this is the ring of white light that you put between your face and the camera. I think results are good, but I don't know if the brightness would be bearable. Yeah, when I do this in a more organized fashion, I do it in the study because I'm very middle class. I have a study, and I do think about the lighting more there, but I still haven't cracked it. So I need to work on it. Um, and what was the point? Yeah, and I have got a light, a special light, which is a £14.99 uh, desk lamp light from Curry's. Um, yeah, there's way too much pressure on YouTubers to have all the things. Yeah, well, I put the pressure on myself because I know that a good looking, good sounding YouTube video is not beyond the realms of possibility. It can be done with thought and perhaps a bit of money, but you really don't need all the things. Clearly, you need a computer or a phone, um, but other than that, you don't need anything. You just need um, authenticity, really. I think that's the thing. Um, and yeah, you can be really strategic and ambitious about YouTube, and I wish I was purely to have the autonomy to be more healthy, to feel better about life, because I don't feel very good about life right now. Um, until I do something like this, and it's like an oasis of calm in a stormy week. I don't know what I'm saying. I must need food, and coffee. Um, so yeah, you don't need the things. You really don't. Although I keep whittering about it, um, I because I admire what people are doing, and I'd like to do something similar, but you don't need it. You need volume, authenticity, and hopefully people resonate with what you're talking about. And even if they don't, well, you tried. Um, I empathise why I feel that's safe in a place like this. Fantastic. It's what we're here for, to feel comfortable, be able to share things that might be tricky to share in normal life. Um, yeah, messaging allows for processing time. Yeah, this is it. This is it. I my brain works at a different speed to neurotypical people's brains in a social setting, and and I'm always making patterns and connections and links. Um, and I can remember random dates and capital cities, and someone will say something in the conversation. I'll go, "Oh, that reminds me about this fascinating piece of information I have about Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland." Now, I think you guys would be like, "Oh, tell me more about Reykjavik in Iceland and your fascinating information." Um, it's taken me 40 years to realize that most people in the world don't really want that type of conversation. They don't want a fact-led conversation. That is not fun. They want to have gossip and talk about weekend plans, and I am grossly generalizing and simplifying, to make a point. And I'm not saying neurotypical bad, autistic people good. I'm saying different, you know. But that said, it is really frustrating to be made to feel inferior because we have a different conversational style, or we talk about different topics, with a different level of enthusiasm. It's like, oh, that's weird. Why are you talking about Iceland? I was just talking about my mate Dave's stag do, and now you're talking about Iceland and the capital of Reykjavik. What's that got to do with anything? Well, it's got a lot to do with what you've just been talking about in my autistic brain, because my autistic brain's making patterns and links, and I thought you'd be interested in that piece of information, but clearly you're not interested. Oh, I'm autistic and you're neurotypical. Double empathy problem. I apologize. Yeah, but I'm not the problem and you're not the problem. It's just a difference. And, if we accept that, then the world would be a nicer place rather than you're autistic and you're weird and you shouldn't talk about capital cities when people are talking about their stag do's. Oh, okay. Is that a rule? It's an unwritten rule. Well, if it's unwritten, how am I meant to know where it is, or what it is? Well, everyone knows that. It's just normal. Well, I'm autistic and it's not written down, and I'm not a mind reader, and I'll stop having that pretend conversation now. Hopefully that was entertaining. If it was, give me a like. um, or a heart. Hearts rather poetically sort of sift up the screen. If ever you do one of these things and you're the one blathering away, you can see them. Oh, you'd be able to see them anyway, wouldn't you? Duh. Um, lots of hearts. My self-esteem has been suitably boosted. Thank you ever so much. I keep saying I'm going to disappear, um, and I really, really have to go very soon. Sorry if you've just arrived, and let's get into the good stuff. But yeah, I've got emaciated Dickensian children wasting away downstairs, prodding the ceiling with a broom. Feed me! I'm doing a live stream. It's important to me and my emotional well-being. Yeah. Let me catch up with the chat before I do draw this to a close. Um, Lily, this is the only live stream I commented on. Um, You get the right pace, a very relatable, have good sense. Thank you so much. That means a lot. It really, really does. I'm not ever sure about the pace or the content because it's spontaneous. That's the nature of live streams. Thank you for the hearts. Um, yeah, more hearts. Thank you. Um, don't know why I did that 'cause I can't hear them. Um, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, it's completely different to a heavily scripted and edited silly video in which I wear my wife's clothes more often than not. Um, yeah, just something very, very comforting about doing these. I can't quite put my finger on it because I am practically mute by choice in the real world. I don't talk. I don't actually enjoy my voice, don't enjoy talking. Um, and yet the live streams, 2.5 hours, can zip by and feel like I'm just getting started. I know I've said that in previous live streams. I'm repeating myself, but there we are. Um, and yeah, because it's a safe space, yeah, is a big part of it. Um, Normally, I'm not in a safe space. I'm uh, anxious because I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm bracing myself for something happening that I'm not in control of. Live stream's complete opposite of that. Um, unless something like Donnie Darko happens and a spaceship comes crash or a part of an aeroplane comes crashing in through the ceiling. I really shouldn't tempt fate. Um, that doesn't happen. I'm in my son's decorative bedroom, just talking my random nonsense. Safe space. Um, Lucy, if you want to take a deep dive into lighting, I'd highly recommend the Lights, Science and Magic. All right. Thank you. Splendid. Yeah. Um, Thank you for that. The awareness that autism blasts us with is overwhelming at times. Yeah, I like the way you put that, Stephen. It can be very disorientating, being a late diagnosed autistic person. Um, yeah, it's- I'm still, still processing it. I'm still trying to string a sentence together about it. Um, it's very comforting to read things like that, and I know that I'm not the only one thinking these things. Um, I sometimes feel like I'm sort of gaslit in a way, like what I'm saying or thinking or what I want to say, what I'm thinking is is not valid because all the things I say about post-diagnosis grief and trying to adjust the way I view the world because of this knowledge that I now have and how disorientating that is. I don't have an audience for that. People, they don't want to listen to that because they're like, well, you're in your 40s now, so you've coped for this long. Why are you so stressed out now? Or not so stressed out, but like sort of in grieving because I grieve for the years when I could have known all of this and I could have adjusted in a way that would have meant that life was more comfortable. Um, I can't get those 40 years back. Um, and that, I'm gutted. And yes, better late than never. Absolutely. I'm doing this. Clearly would not be doing this if I didn't know I'm autistic. But it's the timing, and it's hard to deal with. Sorry, my limbs are freezing up. Um, Lighting is hard when you wear glasses. I have to sit. Yeah, I remember you saying that, Lizzie. Yeah. Yeah, you can see my eyes. Ugh, ugh, yeah. Awful. Yeah, I will figure it out. Read that book that's just been recommended. Oh, the Strobist website. Ooh, Strobist. Fantastic. I think someone's coming upstairs. I better hurry up. Um, oh, what you done? I'm doing a live stream. Do you want to do tea soon? Yeah, I'll but this. Give me 5 minutes then. Is that all right? Um, yeah, I've got to go soon, everyone. Um, 5 minutes. My daughter's boyfriend's in the house, and he's got to be fed as well. It's 3 children I've got to feed. I'm feeding children that aren't mine or our child. That's how generous I am. Just constantly giving. That's what I do. Just giving sarcasm. Um, yeah. Do you know when people from work to read my comments and find out about my late identification before I'm ready to share it publicly? Yeah, I completely understand that. Um, Hence, I suppose, your completely inscrutable, unpronounceable pseudonym. If you're trying to hide yourself, then you've gone about it the right way, because I can't even say your name, let alone identify who you might be. Um, Anti-glare coatings do a great job for that shoot. Yeah, I love the autistic solution suggesting, like, that's the problem. Here's the solution. Yeah, I know. It's like I said about politics. I'm comparing global politics to eyeglasses. I'm comparing global politics to glasses and glare. There are solutions. It's whether you choose to use them or not. Yeah. Um, Next time you get lenses, you can get non-glare. Yeah, solutions. Superb. On-camera professionals use these. Yes. On-camera professionals. Something that a group that I don't belong to, as I keep saying. Um, right. I better hurry up before I get told off. Feed the Dickensian children, indeed. Yeah, wasting away. They're not wasting away. My daughter ordered Domino's pizza for lunch. How how rich and privileged is that? Um, I like the Osho connections. Wish that one can go on forever. After feeding an annoyed dog. Oh, bye, Lizzie. If you've not gone already, um, I got to wrap up. Bye, Matthew. Nice to meet you all. Yeah, thank you for your lovely comments. If you're still here, um, I thought I'm here for the conversation about the grief of late diagnosis. I was almost 50 before I figured it out. Well, if you're here for conversation about the grief of late diagnosis, then you are in the right place, because this is something I'm going to keep on talking about. And if people listen to it or not, well, I'm gonna keep thinking about it, and hopefully people will want to listen to my thoughts about it in future live streams, future videos, because it's something that rattles around my brain constantly every day, and will continue to rattle about my brain every day for the rest of my life. Post-diagnosis autistic grief, which is not me being upset about being autistic, because being autistic is not a bad thing at all. It is me being upset about finding out so late in life and having to readjust the lens through which I view the world and my place in it. And that's something I just find tremendously difficult to do. So late diagnosis grief, that's the sort of content you want to hear, then you're going to get plenty of it through this channel. Um, so yeah, Agent X Force, I have now jarred 51 jars of whipped soft it. That's a lovely phrase, whipped soft it honey. Echolalia there, I like saying that out loud. I am now cleaning up. Well, I hope you clean up to your satisfaction. I wish I could have some of that soft set honey. That's busted. I think that was Arlene commenting on my wife saying, "What are you doing?" I'm doing a live stream in our son's bedroom. Yeah, you've got to make the dinner now and be an adult. Damn it. I don't want to be an adult. I want to pretend that I'm 13, and have no responsibilities other than biology homework. Daughter's boyfriend, the last picture you showed them, also they were really, really young kids. Yeah, my kids are in their teens now. Yeah, what can I do? That's how time works. I can't remember the picture I shared. Oh yes, I know. It was in the community post. I just picked a random picture of them to make a point. Yeah, and they were very young then. That was 10 years ago, that picture. Road to hell is paved in good intentions. Thank you, Tom Tom. Um, Danelle, thank you. Pleasant morning, wherever you are. You're in the States, in Washington State. Um, don't worry, don't be sorry, Laura. Thank you for being here. I'm glad that you were able to make it, because I know for whatever reasons you've missed out before. So thanks for being here. Thanks for watching the recordings. I don't know why anyone would really want to, because it's just me talking and you're not able to engage if you're watching a recording. But yeah, thank you. Um, thanks for the light. Thank you, Arlene. We've got a nice bunch of friends. Absolutely. This doesn't work unless people like you comment, share thoughts, and so on. Not to make you feel bad, Laura. God, I'm just saying that if just one person comments, then this works. Matthew, I'm working through the exercise in a book called The Grief Recovery Handbook. Right, quickly before I go make the tea, The Grief Recovery Handbook. Cool. Thank you for that, and thank you for the recommendation. David's waiting for a walk in nature. So grateful for that. Thank you, Lisa, so much, and for everything you do for autistic people. Lisa has taken part in collabs with Autistic Jenny and comments a lot. And I'm praising you, Lisa. I'm not having a go. I'm saying it's a good thing, to always reassuring. And some of her comments all of her comments I will cherish because they're always really encouraging and lovely. So thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you, Scott. Um, thank you, everyone. And Moosey as well. Thank you, everyone. God, it is getting dark. That's how long I've been doing this. It's 6:15 in the UK. Yeah, please do. If you got me, you got the emails on the channel description anyway. It's lovely to get emails. If that's what you want to do, email rather than comment on a video or in a live stream, then whatever suits you. Yeah, as long as it's kind or not to say nice things about me, but as long as it's not nonsense, silly, unkind stuff, which unfortunately I have received. As long as it's from a good place, then I'm happy to receive it. So congratulations on the diagnosis at 49. Yeah, better late than never. We're all here to try and process this knowledge, and just be our best selves in a world that's not designed for us. And because of that reality, we need a community like this, in my humble view. Yeah, thank you, Ellen. So I'm going to do that really cheesy thing that I tend to do in these live streams because I'm terrible at ending conversations. I'm going to do a 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to click on end stream and feed those starving Dickensian, emaciated yet highly privileged children downstairs. So thank you so much, everyone, for bearing with me and the setup. And I'm going to have a think about lighting and how to cope with grief, and probably not do that at all. Probably just think about music, which is what I normally do. So thank you all. Been a blast. I can't believe it. Almost 3 hours, and I'm loving it. But I've got to go and feed people and stretch my legs. So take care. I'm not sure if I'll schedule another one or just do it like I've done today. Just switch the computer on. Groceries have arrived. Thank you, Danelle. Go and enjoy produce. Take care, everyone. 3, 2, 1. I don't know why I'm saluting. Such a weird thing to do. But anyway, 3, 2, 1. Bye.